Hi everyone, Namaste. I hope all of you understand the last video class about 17th group. So we completed physical properties of 17th group and also chemical properties. In chemical properties, we completed reaction with hydrogen. So whenever halogens combines with hydrogen, they form hydrogen halides, and the properties of hydrogen halides like acidic character, reducing nature, stability, boiling point, melting point. So mostly all factors we completed. So the next reaction is reaction with oxygen. So reaction with hydrogen is completed. The next one is reaction with oxygen. So actually halogens does not directly combines with oxygen. So the reactivity of halogen with oxygen is very less reactivity except fluorine. So fluorine is highly reactive, but except fluorine, remaining all halogens are less reactive with oxygen. So that's why the oxides of halogen are always prepared by indirect methods. They does not prepare directly because of less reactivity. They prepared by indirect methods. So if you are taking fluorine when combines with oxygen, it will form two compounds. One is the OF2, another one is the O2F2. So these two already we have seen in the 16th group also. Fluorine oxygens whenever combining they forms two compounds. One is the OF2, another one is the O2F2. But remember, these we cannot call oxides, these we are calling fluorides. Why? Because among fluorine and oxygen, fluorine is the more electronegative. Since it is more electronegative, we always call it is fluoride, not oxide. But remaining all halogens except fluorine, other halogens when combines with oxygen, they are called oxides. Because oxygen is more electronegative than the remaining halogen. So that's why all halogens will form oxides with oxygen, whereas fluorine will form fluorides with oxygen. So these are the two important fluorides when oxygen and fluorine are combining. Among these two, OF2 is stable at room temperature like 298 Kelvin, and this O2F2 is very less stable. Remember, OF2 is more stable, O2F2 is the less stable. So fluorine will form two types of fluorides, OF2 and O2F2. So these are the formed by fluorine. Similarly, when chlorine will form oxides like same like OF2, it will form OCl2 or Cl2O. Another one is O2Cl. Simply write like this, Cl2O. Sorry. ClO2, one is the Cl2O, another one is the ClO2, another possibility is Cl2O6, Cl2O7. So these are the oxides which are formed by fluorine by indirect methods. Same like when we are taking bromine, bromine will form oxides like same like OBr2, same like BrO2, another is the BrO3. Same like iodine will form only I2O5. So these are the oxides of halogens. Fluorine will form two compounds. Both of these are called fluorides. But remaining halogens we are calling as oxides. Among these, remember, chlorine will form maximum number of oxides, whereas iodine will form least number of oxides. Iodine only forms one oxide, that is I2O5. And chlorine will form maximum number of oxides, that is Cl2O, Cl2O2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7. So these are the oxides. And so when we are comparing, here this is OF2, OCl2, OBr2. Iodine does not form OI2, only these halogens will form. Among these, when we are writing the structure of these dihalogen oxides like OF2, OCl2 and OBr2. So OF2, OCl2, OBr2. These are the dihalogen oxides. Among these three, central atom is oxygen. It has two lone pairs and two halogens. are writing the hybridization, all of these are having sp3 hybridization. So calculate hybridization. Central atom is oxygen. Number of valence electrons will be 6 plus number of monovalent atoms will be 2 by 2 equal to 4. 4 means sp3 hybridization. Geometry will be tetrahedral. But because of two lone pairs, the shape will become bend shape, or we can shape V shape or angular shape. So all these dihalogen oxides are bend molecules, and its bond angle will be less than the tetrahedral bond angle. And remember, here this is the fluorine, bromine. When we are moving from fluorine to bromine, bond angle will be increases. The bond angle of OBr2 is greater, whereas OF2 is lesser. Why? Because here fluorine is the small in size, whereas fluorines are bigger, bromines are very much bigger. When size of the halogen atom is increasing, so they undergo some intermolecular repulsions. So due to that repulsions, bond angle will be increases. So OF2 is less bond angle, whereas OBr2 is the more bond angle. So this is about order of the bond angles of dihalogen oxides. It is a fluoride, but remaining are oxides. So chlorine will form more number of oxides, iodine will form less number of oxides. Remember it. Whereas chlorine will form only fluorides, not oxides, because of fluorine highly electronegativity. And all of these oxides, it can be fluorine or chlorine, bromine, iodine. I'm sorry, it is a bromine. So all of these oxides are acidic in nature because all are halogens. Halogens are highly electronegative, so their compounds are highly acidic in nature. So almost all oxides and fluorides are acidic in nature, and their acidic character increases with increasing of oxidation number. When oxidation number increasing, acidic character will be increases. So these are the oxides and fluorides. Now say this, among all these oxides, so these are we are calling as fluorides, and these are we are calling as oxides. So among all oxides, now when we are comparing the stability of these oxides, of halogen will decrease from iodine oxides are more stable, after that chlorine oxides, and after that bromine oxides. So this is the order of stability of oxides. So fluorine I am not taking because they will form fluorides, not oxides. But among oxides, iodine oxides are more stable, after that chlorine oxide, after that bromine oxides. This is complete irregular order. Why? Because the stability of iodine oxide is mostly due to high polarity. So why? Because when you are writing the halogens, chlorine, bromine, iodine, up to bottom electronegativity decreases. Iodine is the least electronegative, whereas oxygen is the second most electronegative. So between oxygen and iodine, the bond is highly polar bond. Mostly all oxides are covalent in nature, but in iodine oxides, the bond between iodine and oxygen bond is a more polar nature. So due to less electronegativity and high electronegativity. So large electronegativity difference are there. That's why it is a high polarity. So due to high polarity, so iodine oxides are more stable. After that high polarity applicable to bromine, but actually Cl oxides are more stable. This is mainly due to Cl has capability of multiple bond formation. So Cl has capability of multiple bond formation due to its availability of d orbital. All are having d orbital, but here chlorine is a small size. Among these three, among chlorine, bromine and iodine, chlorine is a small size. they will form strong d-pi bonds. So that's why, so this chlorine will form d-pi bond. Due to that multiple bond formation, its oxides are highly stable. But iron oxides does not form multiple bond due to very large distance, but it has a high polarity. Due to high polarity, iron oxides are more stable, and due to multiple bond formation, chlorine oxides are more stable. But in bromine, not like multiple bonds like chlorine, or not like high polarity like iodine. So due to this, bromine oxides are less stable among these halogens. So this is the order of stability of oxides. Iodine oxides are more stable, so this is the most important order. The stability of oxides of halogen. Iodine oxides are more stable due to more polar nature. After that, chlorine oxides are more stable due to formation of multiple bonds, and whereas in bromine, multiple bond formation is not possible like chlorine, whereas high polarity is also not possible like iodine because it is in between. Not like chlorine, it can form multiple bond because of big size, it cannot form multiple bond, and because of not very least electronegativity, it cannot form high polar bond also. So that's why bromine oxides are less stable. Most important, this is the stability order of oxides. So we completed reactivity with oxygen. So as I told, 17th group elements does not directly combine with halogen. So their oxides are always indirectly prepared. So what is indirect preparation means? Simply for example, if you are taking HCl 2 moles, so this on losing water will form an anhydride that will be Cl2O. So Cl2O is an anhydride of HClO molecule. So what is the HClO name? We will see next topic. Similarly, if you are taking HClO2 and HClO3, so on losing water, it will form ClO2. So ClO2 is an anhydride of both acids, HClO2 and HClO3. Similarly, if you are taking HClO3 and HClO4, it loses water, produce Cl2O6. Similarly, HClO4 2 moles, on losing water, we get Cl2O7. So all the oxides of chlorine are nothing but, so these are anhydrides of oxoacids of halogens. All these are oxoacids. We will see oxoacid topic next. So oxoacids on losing water, they will form anhydrides. Those are nothing but oxides of chlorine. So chlorines are only 4 oxides: Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O6, Cl2O7. So which oxide is anhydride of which acid? That is also important question. So Cl2O is an anhydride of HClO. ClO2 is an anhydride of 2 acids, HClO2 also, HClO3 also. Similarly, Cl2O6 is an anhydride of HClO3 and HClO4, and Cl2O7 is an anhydride of HClO4. So this is about oxides of 17th group. Now the next reaction is reaction with halogen. So you are studying halogen and halogens are combining with halogen. So reactivity of 17th group with halogen. So what it means is, so you can write this statement: 17th group elements when combines with halogen, they will form interhalogen compounds. So what it means is, halogen symbol is X2. Again it is combining with halogen X2. But when both are same halogen, suppose chlorine will combining, product is chlorine, does not form any other product. That's why these two must be different halogen. So that's why suppose I am writing here X dash and this is X. Here X is the big size halogen, whereas X dash is the small size halogen. Whenever you are taking halogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all are different size. When any two halogens are combining, one must be small size, one must be large size. So that's why when two different halogens are combining, the product are called inter-halogen compounds. So inter-halogen compounds are the products of two different halogens. When two different halogens are combining, we get inter-halogens product. So what are inter-halogen compounds? What are their formulas? How to identify? Remember, here two elements are combining. One is big size and one is small size. So we know that the small size one must be more electronegative, whereas big size one must be less electronegative. So more electronegative always shows negative charge. So halogen's negative charge must be -1. Similarly, big size molecule will show positive charge. Positive charge of halogens +1, +3, +5, +7. So these are the oxidation states of halogens. We already completed oxidation state. So halogens positive states are +1, +3, +5, +7. Negative states are -1. So whenever two halogens are combining, one must show -1 and remaining must show positive, either +1, +3, +5, +7. Now, what are the possible product here? If the halogen is showing +1 and it is showing -1, one will come this side, this one will come this side. The product will be X dash. So this X dash is the inter-halogen compound. Similarly, if the charge is +3, 3 will come this side, 1 will come this side. The product will be X dash 3. Similarly, X dash 5 and X dash 7. So these are the four possibility of inter-halogen compounds. When two different halogens are combining, the possibility of inter-halogen compounds four types: X dash, X3 dash, X5 dash, X7 dash. All these are called inter-halogen compounds. For example, X dash is the small size. So for example, we are taking X dash. Here suppose we are taking fluorine and chlorine. So fluorine will form ClF. One is the big size and one is the small size. Similarly, here ClF3, big size, small size. ClF5, like that. Similarly, any other halogens we are taking, the possibility of BrCl, IBr. So like that, number of halogen compounds possible. BrClF3, BrCl3, ICl3, IF5, ICl5, etc. In this, mostly IF7 is the stable compound. So these are X dash type, and these are X3 dash type, and these are X5 dash type, X7 dash type. So remember, the most important formulas. Sometimes they will ask question, which of the compound will exist, which does not exist. See this, ClF3 will be exist, but when you are writing FCl3, existence of FCl3 does not possible. Why? Because these are the big size, this is the small size. So big size halogens always 1, small size halogens can be any number, because X must be big size, only one halogen. See this, one big size halogen, one big size, one big size, one big size. That means big size halogen must be 1, small size halogen must be 1, 3, 5, 7, any number possible. So that's why FCl3 does not exist, but ClF3 possibility. Similarly, BR5 exists, but BRI5 does not exist. Why? Because this is the small size, this is the large size. Large size cannot be more than 1. This is important. Which will exist, which does not exist. So questions can be asked. So these are the inter-halogen compounds. When halogens combines with another halogen, the products are called inter-halogen compounds. Now these inter-halogen compounds are more reactive when compared with pure halogen. So halogen formula X2, inter-halogen formula XX dash, write it. XX dash is inter-halogen. So So when compared with X dash, X2, that means halogen is less reactive. So this is the reactivity order. Interhalogens are more reactive than the halogen. Why? Because see this, in interhalogen, both are different halogen. One must be more electronegative and one must be less electronegative. So due to this electronegativity difference, there is some bond polarity. It will exhibit partial negative, partial positive. So this is the polar nature. Whereas in halogens, both are same halogen. So the bond is non-polar. So definitely polar molecules are more reactive than the non-polar molecules. That's why the reactivity of interhalogens will be more than the halogens. So due to its polar nature. So this is important. So which will more reactive, which will less reactive? That is also possible question. Similarly, so all these interhalogens, so XX dash is have only one bond, so it are linear molecules, but remaining we can calculate hybridization, we can write the shape also. Example, X3 dash, X5 dash, X7 dash. So you can calculate hybridization, geometry and shape also. So try these molecules. XX dash, XX5 dash, XX7 dash. Just I am giving general formula, so they can give any formula like ClF3, BrCl3, anything possible. This is just general formula. So when you are writing hybridization, central atom will be X, halogen will be 7 valence electron plus number of monovalent atoms. There are 3 monovalent atoms divided by 2. It will be 7, 3, 10, 5. This will be 5. 5 is sp3d. That is called trigonal bipyramidal. sp3d is trigonal bipyramidal. It should be like this: 3 equatorial bonds and 2 lengthy axial bonds will be possible. So this is the trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Here central atom will be X. So on the X I am writing central atom. Central atom is big size halogen. And there are small size halogens are 3. When you are writing 3 small size halogen, 1, 2, 3. So these equatorial has atoms, whereas axial bonds have lone pairs. So the shape actual is, so without watching lone pair, so this is called shape. This is nearly P shape. All X3 type molecules are T shape in nature. Similarly, we can calculate these molecules also. Try these molecules. X5 dash 7 plus 5 by 2 equal to 6. sp3d2. Geometry will be octahedral. So this is the octahedral geometry. Central atom will be X. There are 5 small size halogens: X dash, X dash, X dash, X dash, X dash. So one must be lone pair. Here the shape must be square pyramidal. So all X5 dash molecules are square pyramidal shape. Similarly, X7 dash 7 plus 7 by 2. So this will be 7. sp3d3. sp3d3. So this will be pentagonal bipyramidal. So in octahedral geometry, we can write 7th bond anywhere, but we can call pentagonal bipyramidal. So central atom will be X. There are small size halogens are 7. That means there is no lone pair. So its shape is also pentagonal bipyramidal. So these are the interhalogen compounds, geometries and shapes. So number of lone pairs also sometimes they will ask. Most important, which molecule have maximum number of lone pairs, which has less number of lone pairs. XX3, 2 lone pairs. XX5 dash one lone pair, X7 dash, no lone pair. So these are the shapes of interhalogen compounds. Total 4 types of interhalogens. X dash. So X dash is directly linear molecule because it contains only one bond. Remaining are T-shape and square pyramidal and pentagonal bipyramidal shape. Now all these interhalogens are already told these are more reactive than the halogens. And these interhalogen compounds X dash, X3 dash, X5 dash, X7 dash. All these interhalogen compounds undergo hydrolysis. Suppose it is combining with one water molecule. It will combine with two water molecule. It will combine with 3 water. It will combine with 4 water molecule. So X dash will combine with one water molecule. Remember that we know that water contains H and OH ions. So H plus combines with more electron into X dash. So we will get H dash plus remaining big size halogen and OH is there. So we get HXO. Similarly, this on combining. So very simple reaction these are. X dash will combine with one water. X3 will combine with 2 water, X5 dash will combine with 3 water, X7 dash will combine with 4 water molecules. So here one small size halogen combined with one hydrogen will form HX dash. Here there are 3 small size halogens will combine with 3 hydrogen. We get 3 moles of HX dash. 5 small size combines with 5 hydrogen, we get 5 moles of hydrogen halides. 7 will combine with 7 hydrogen, will get 7 HX dash. So whenever interhalogens on hydrolysis, the small size halogens are converted to hydrogen halides. All are HX. 1, 3, 5, 7 HX. So the remaining big size halogen will combine with oxygen molecule. Here one OH is there, will form HXO. Here there are 2 oxygen and 1 hydrogen remaining. So we get HXO2. Here 3 oxygen and 1 hydrogen remaining. We get HXO3. Here 4 oxygen and 1 hydrogen remaining. HXO4. So see this, interhalogens on hydrolysis produce hydrogen halides with small size halogen. And also produce all these are oxo acids. Oxo acids. So they produce oxo acids with big size halogen. So oxo acids are total 4 types of oxo acids exist in halogens: HXO, HXO2, HXO3, HXO4. So these are the oxo acids of halogen. So write these formulas, important. So total 4 oxo acids. So what are they? One is the HXO. Writing here HXO. Second one is the HXO2, HXO3, HXO4. So total 4 types of oxo acids: HXO, HXO2, HXO3, HXO4. In this HXO, its name is called hypohalous acid. HXO2 name halous acid. Its name is halic acid, and it is perhalic acid. So total 4 oxo acids: hypohalous, halous, halic, perhalic. All these are the oxo acids of halogens. Suppose here depends upon halogen, we can tell the name. Then suppose chlorine is there, that is called hypochlorous acid. Chlorine is there, hypochlorous. Bromine is there, hypobromous, like that. Chlorous, bromous, iodous, like this. Chloric, bromic, iodic. Perchloric, perchromic, periodic. Just in place of X we can write any halogen. So these are the 4 types of oxo acids. And all we know how to write the structure of oxo acids. Here central atom is halogen. First we have to write halogen, and the next is actual double bond oxygen. But here only one oxygen is there, only one hydrogen. So we must write one OH must and should, because oxo acid means at least one contains one OH group. So directly without double bond I am writing OH group. It is the structure of hypohalous acid. Similarly HX4 central atom, next one is double bond oxygen, so next is the OH group. Same like this will be X double bond oxygen, one OH group is there, another extra oxygen is there, so we can write double bond extra. Similarly this one is X double bond O, OH double bond O, double bond O. These are the structures of oxo acids of halogen. Just only halogen is different. You can write chlorine, bromine, iodine, whatever. And remember this, fluorine only form hypofluorous. It does not form remaining acid. Fluorine only form hypofluorous. Only HOF will exist. In remaining all halogens will form all oxo acids. Fluorine will form hypofluorous, fluorous, chloric, perchloric. But fluorine only form hypofluorous acid. So when you are writing the oxidation state, it is the halogen, oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative. So when we are writing the oxidation state, here halogen is less electronegative, oxygen is more electronegative. We are not taking chlorine. Remaining chlorine, bromine, iodines are less electronegative. So it will show +1 oxidation state because only one bond is there. The halogen will show 1, 2, 3 bonds are there. It will show +3. It will show +5. It will show +7. So hypohalous acids, oxidation state of halogen will be +1. In halous +3, halic +5, perhalic +7. But if the halogen is chlorine, the chlorine does not exhibit positive. So that's why whenever chlorine is there, it will be minus. In remaining all oxo acids, it will be positive oxidation state. It is important. Chlorine is the most electronegative, so it will show -1 in HOF. In remaining all oxo acids, halogens will show positive oxidation state. So these are the oxo acid structures. Among these oxo acids, the order of acidic strength HXO, HXO2, HXO3, HXO4. Since it has +7, it has +5, it has +3, it has +1. So more the oxidation state, more the acidic strength. So HXO4 is more acidic than the HXO3, HXO2, HXO. This is the order of acidic character. Most important question, always give chlorine, HClO, HClO2, HClO3, HClO4. This is the order of acetic acid among the oxo acids of chlorine. This is important acidic character order. For any halogen, it can be bromine, whatever, iodine. This is the order of acidic character. So among different halogens, we are taking, for example, HClO4, HBrO4, and HiO4. So among this, HClO4 is more acidic, HBrO4 is more acidic, and HiO4 is the least acidic. So this is acidic character for different halogens, and this is the order of acidic character for same halogens. So both orders are important. The chlorine is more electronegativity, that's why highly acidic. Iodine is less electronegativity, that's why less acidic. So chlorine I am not taking because chlorine only forms one acid, that is the HFO, hypofluorous acid. Its oxidation state will be -1. Remaining in all oxo acids, oxidation state is positive. In fluorine oxo acid, it will be negative. So this is about oxo acids and reactivity with halogens. So inter halogens we completed. and react with oxygen is completed, react with hydrogen is completed. So the next one is, as I told, oxidizing nature of halogens. Chlorine is a strong oxidizing, after that chlorine, after that bromine, after that iodine. This is already complete in physical properties. This is oxidizing nature. So since chlorine is a strong oxidizing agent, so it can oxidize other molecules. Suppose if chlorine we are treating with water. So in water there is oxygen is there. So oxygen can be liberated by chlorine since it is a more electronegativity and highly oxidizing. So we can get 4 HF molecule plus oxygen. So in place of chlorine, 2 chlorine I am taking 3 chlorine and I am taking 3 water. We get 6 HF molecule. Also we get O3. So chlorine can liberate oxygen, also ozone when combining with water. Since it is a strong oxidizing agent, it can liberate ozone, it can liberate oxygen also in water. But if you are taking for iodine, chlorine is a strong oxidizing, after that chlorine, bromine, iodine. If you are taking chlorine and bromine, any halogens, X2 plus water. Here X must be chlorine and bromine. For chlorine, this is a reactivity, either it can form oxygen or it can form ozone. So chlorine, bromine when we are taking, when they are combining with water, since these are less reactive with oxygen, because oxygen is more electronegative, remaining halogens are less electronegative. So when they are combining with water, they will form 2 types. H will combine with halogen, they will form HX plus, also will form HXO. Again it is a oxidation will form. So chlorine, bromine with water, they will form oxo acid, that is the hypohalous, hypochlorous or hypobromous. So it can be chlorine or bromine. If you are taking iodine, iodine when combines with water does not take place any reaction, because iodine is a very least oxidizing agent, so does not combine with water. But remember, the reverse reaction of chlorine is possible for iodine. That means chlorine can replace oxygen, whereas oxygen can replace iodine. Example, if you are taking 4 Hi molecules and combining with oxygen, so oxygen is strong oxidizing than the iodine, so it will replace iodine. So we get 2I2 plus 2H2O. It is exactly opposite to chlorine. See this? From water, chlorine liberating oxygen, but here oxygen liberating iodine and producing water. So chlorine is a highly reactivity, iodine is the least reactivity. So iodine reactivity is opposite to chlorine reactivity. These are reactions are most important. So chlorine can liberate oxygen and ozone from the water, whereas chlorine, bromine combines with water, they will form hydrogen halides and hypohalous acid. Whereas iodine does not combine with water, but oxygen can replace iodine, produce iodine. So this is the reactivity of halogens with water. Also remember, since chlorine is a strong oxidizing agent, so chlorine can replace any halogen. Here X must be chlorine, bromine and iodine. We are taking 2 halogen. So we will get 2F minus plus X2. So chlorine can replace any halogen, it can be chlorine, bromine, iodine. But chlorine can replace only bromine and iodine. So here we get 2Cl minus plus X2. Whereas bromine can replace only iodide. So we get Br minus plus I2. Whereas iodine cannot replace any halogen. So this is important. Chlorine can replace all halide ions into halogen. Chlorine can replace bromide and iodide into halogens. Bromine can replace only iodide to iodine. Iodine cannot replace any other halogens because of its low reactivity. So these are also important reactions. So all these are the chemical properties of halogen 17th group. So remaining whatever the important compounds are there. So 2 important compounds, one is the chlorine preparation and HCl preparation. We will see in the next class. Along with we also completed 18th group also. Thank you.